Hey, Raiders fans, we have some big news to break down today. And it is stirring up the silver and black world more than anything in the past few weeks. The head coaching search for the Las Vegas Raiders has been intense. And now we are seeing major shifts in the landscape. The latest update that's got everyone talking is that Webb, who had been one of the top candidates for the Raiders' head coaching job, has officially withdrawn from consideration. This is a huge development because Webb was seen as a strong option. Someone who had the credentials and experience to take the team forward. If Kubuk didn't come through, now that Webb has stepped back, it feels like the Raiders' focus is completely locked on Kubuk, which makes this moment even more critical for the franchise. The coaching carousel in the NFL is always unpredictable. But this particular move changes the dynamic dramatically. It wasn't too long ago that Webb had been involved in interviews with the Raiders, and there was genuine optimism that he could be the next leader of the silver and black. However, the reports that kept coming out indicated that the Raiders were all in on Kubuk. And that clarity likely influenced Webb's decision to step aside. From a player, fan, and organizational perspective, these decisions are never easy. And Webb's withdrawal signals just how competitive and high-stakes this process has become. Looking back, Webb's journey in the interview process started earlier in January, and it seemed for a while that he could emerge as a legitimate contender for the position. The Raiders conducted their first interviews with him on January 7th, and at that time, the team was clearly exploring multiple options. Webb's professional background and offensive acumen made him a compelling candidate, and many fans had started to envision him as a coach who could bring stability and creativity to the team. But as the week progressed and more reports came out highlighting the Raiders' commitment to Kubuk, it became increasingly clear that the focus of the franchise was shifting. Webb's decision to withdraw seems to be a logical one, given that the Raiders were showing every indication of making Kubuk their number one choice. When a team signals so strongly that they are committed to a single candidate, it can be difficult for other top-tier candidates to stay invested. From Webb's perspective, it's understandable that he would instead look to secure a role elsewhere, where his talents could be utilized and appreciated. In this case, it appears that he will return to the Denver Broncos, possibly stepping into a more significant role on their offensive staff. This move could provide him with stability and a path to eventually lead a team in the future, while also allowing the Raiders to zero in on their preferred choice. The Raiders' coaching search has been fascinating to follow, not just because of the high-profile candidates involved, but because it highlights how interconnected the NFL coaching ecosystem is. News about Webb's withdrawal didn't happen in isolation. It came amidst broader moves across the league. For example, the Broncos recently decided to make changes to their offensive coordinator position, which may have influenced Webb's decision-making. The timing of these events is critical. When a team like Denver shifts its coaching staff, opportunities arise for talented assistants like Webb to take on a bigger role, gain more experience, and position themselves for a head coaching job down the line. Webb is still young in his coaching career, and sitting under an experienced coach in a strong franchise could be exactly the kind of preparation he needs to be ready for a top job in the future. Meanwhile, the Raiders are left focusing on Kubuk, who has been the favorite from the beginning. For fans, this creates a mix of excitement and anxiety because Kubuk represents a dynamic, offensive-minded coach who could potentially revolutionize the team's approach. The anticipation around his hiring is intense, and the organization is now under pressure to make a decision that could define the next chapter of the franchise. It's also worth noting how much these coaching decisions resonate with the fan base. Being a Raiders fan means being deeply invested in every move the franchise makes, from player acquisitions to coaching hires. Webb's withdrawal has triggered discussions and debates across social media, podcasts, and fan forums. Some fans are disappointed to see him step back, while others feel reassured that the focus is now squarely on Kubuk. The emotional roller coaster of following the team during this period is part of what makes being a fan so intense. Every rumor, report, and official announcement carries weight, and it can feel like the entire identity of the team hinges on these decisions. The Raiders' front office has been methodical in its approach, conducting multiple interviews and evaluating various candidates with different coaching backgrounds. Names like Jero Arrow and other potential options have emerged, but the overarching narrative has been clear. Kubuk is the frontrunner, and the team is fully invested in him. As we dissect what Webb's decision means, it's clear that his withdrawal not only narrows the pool of candidates for the Raiders, but also highlights the team's strategic direction. Kubak's profile as an offensive innovator aligns with the vision that the franchise wants to pursue. He has a track record of developing quarterbacks, creating high-powered offensive schemes, and adapting to different situations, which makes him a logical choice for a team looking to compete at the highest level. Webb's choice to step aside reinforces the perception that Kubuk is the one the Raiders want leading the charge. For fans, this can be both comforting and nerve-wracking. Comforting because the organization appears decisive and committed, and nerve-wracking because the stakes are so high and the margin for error is slim. The process also reflects the modern NFL reality, where coaching hires are deeply strategic, often influenced by multiple factors, including team philosophy, player relationships, and the broader coaching network. Every decision sends signals across the league about which franchises are positioning themselves for long-term success and which are willing to take risks for immediate impact. Adding another layer to this story is the fact that other candidates remain in consideration. Even if Kubuk is the clear favorite, the Raiders have explored options like Arrow, who brings defensive experience and connections within the league, as well as other assistants with ties to successful coaching trees. The organization wants to ensure that if Kubuk is unavailable for any reason, there is a contingency plan in place. This demonstrates both caution and strategic foresight on the part of the front office. For fans, this means that while the focus is on Kubuk, the team is also thinking about alternative pathways, which can be reassuring given the high stakes involved in hiring a head coach. At the same time, the narrative around Webb stepping aside serves as a reminder that top candidates will always weigh opportunities carefully. Coaching decisions are not just about prestige, they are about timing, fit, and long-term career trajectory. Webb made a calculated choice to prioritize his professional growth and stability, which ultimately reflects the competitive nature of the NFL coaching market. Meanwhile, the fan base remains laser-focused on Kubuk, his offensive philosophy, quarterback development skills, and ability to innovate are qualities that align with the Raiders' ambitions. For months, fans have speculated about who would be the right fit, analyzing past performance, coaching pedigree, and even cultural fit within the organization. Kubuk represents a fresh, forward-thinking approach, which is why the pressure is on the team to finalize the decision. Every report, every interview, and every rumor adds fuel to the discussion, and the intensity only increases as the hiring decision approaches. Fans are left to imagine how the team will look under Kubak's guidance, from offensive schemes to player development, and even how the culture within the locker room may evolve. The anticipation is palpable, and every small update from the front office or league insiders triggers a wave of analysis and debate. The withdrawal of Davis Webb also serves as a case study in how top candidates manage their careers in the NFL. While some may see a head coaching opportunity as the ultimate prize, others understand the importance of timing and fit. Webb's choice to step aside for a more strategic role in Denver illustrates a nuanced understanding of his career trajectory. By positioning himself under a seasoned coach, he can continue developing his skills, gain more responsibility, and potentially become a more attractive candidate for future head coaching roles. This decision underscores the reality that coaching careers in the NFL are built over time, and strategic patience can be as valuable as immediate opportunity. Fans may not always see these behind-the-scenes calculations, but they have a significant impact on team dynamics and hiring outcomes. As we watch this story unfold, it becomes clear that the Raiders' front office is making deliberate, calculated moves. Webb's exit narrows the field. Kubuk remains the prime candidate, and alternative options are being evaluated for contingency purposes. The coaching search is a high-stakes endeavor, reflecting not only the competitive nature of the NFL, but also the organizational philosophy of the Raiders. For fans, every update matters, every interview counts, and every rumor sparks conversation. It is a fascinating period in the life of the franchise, one that will define the team's direction for years to come. The next few days will be crucial as the Raiders continue their pursuit of the right leader, and fans are watching closely, weighing the implications of each development, while imagining the possibilities for the team under new leadership. As we continue to follow the Raiders' head coaching search, the focus inevitably shifts to the next layers of candidates beyond Davis Webb and Clint Kubuk. While Kubuk remains the frontrunner, the organization has shown diligence in exploring other options, ensuring that they are prepared for every possible scenario. One of the names that has remained in discussion is Arrow, a coach with a strong defensive background and ties to both the Raiders' past and successful franchises across the league. Arrow's experience as a defensive coordinator, coupled with his familiarity with the Raiders' culture from his playing days, positions him as a candidate who could understand the nuances of this team's identity. At the same time, there are questions about how well his approach would translate to leading an offense-driven team. In the modern NFL, fans have debated extensively about Arrow's potential, weighing his past successes against the challenges of running a full team. The narrative around him highlights the importance of fit-in coaching hires. It is never simply about credentials or past titles, but about whether a coach can align with the vision, personnel, and style of play that the franchise wants to adopt. Looking deeper into the mix, the Raiders have also considered assistants with connections to prominent coaching trees, including Mike LaFleur and Nate Scheelhaase. These coaches bring experience from top-tier programs and franchises, and they represent the kind of alternative approach the Raiders might take. If Kubuk is unavailable, what makes these candidates interesting is their blend of youth and innovative thinking, which could inject new energy into the team. LaFleur, for example, has developed a reputation for strategic creativity and adaptability in his roles as an assistant. Scheelhaase has similarly demonstrated the ability to manage complex offensive schemes and work with elite-level talent. Each of these coaches represents a slightly different philosophy, but all share the common thread of being capable of stepping into a head coaching role if needed. The Raiders' willingness to consider such a broad range of options underscores the franchise's commitment to finding the right cultural and tactical fit. Rather than rushing into a decision purely based on reputation or past experience, the dynamic of this search is further complicated by the timing and pressure inherent in NFL hiring processes. With Webb stepping aside, Kubuk remains the key figure, but the team cannot ignore the importance of having contingency plans. The next few weeks will be crucial as the front office finalizes interviews, weighs the feedback from staff and scouts, and considers the potential impact on the locker room. Every decision sends a signal to the players, the coaching staff, and the fan base. For example, if the Raiders commit to Kubuk, it signals an embrace of a modern, quarterback-focused offensive strategy that could redefine how the team approaches the game. On the other hand, selecting a candidate like Arrow would suggest a more balanced, possibly conservative approach, emphasizing defensive stability and incremental improvements. Fans are intensely aware of these nuances, analyzing reports and dissecting every rumor, because they know how much a coaching hire can shape the team's trajectory for years. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers around the league suggest that the Raiders may be positioning themselves for a bold move that could reshape their defensive identity. The name circulating most insistently is Leonard Williams, a proven interior force whose presence alone tends to alter protection schemes and offensive play calling. While nothing has been confirmed, the speculation has gained traction among observers who believe the Raiders are seeking an immediate jolt of power and credibility in the trenches. Williams' potential arrival is being framed as more than a simple roster tweak. The Raiders' defensive line has flashed promise, but consistency and intimidation have been elusive in league circles. The idea is that adding a veteran with Williams' profile would instantly command double teams, freeing edge rushers and linebackers to attack with more freedom. That kind of ripple effect is exactly what the Raiders are rumored to be chasing as they look to establish a tougher, more resilient front. Sources close to the situation describe internal discussions centered on impact now, rather than long-term projects. Williams fits that narrative neatly. He brings experience, durability, and a reputation for doing the unglamorous work that rarely shows up in headlines but often decides close contests. Even as a rumor, the notion of Williams in silver and black has sparked debate about how the defensive scheme could evolve, with more aggressive fronts and creative alignments suddenly becoming viable options. Skeptics point out the financial and logistical hurdles such a move would require, cautioning that speculation often runs ahead of reality. Still, the Raiders have never been shy about big statements, and the timing feels right for a decisive push. If the whispers hold any truth, the message would be clear. The Raiders are intent on making their defensive line a focal point again, and Leonard Williams could be the cornerstone of that transformation. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.